My video for December the 11th, 2019 is number 3301. The title is, I identify with being for truth and against fraud. Living on an anything goes planet is challenging for me, as I'm sure it is for all who might be called idealists. Yes, heaven on earth is not only my ideal, seeing it established before I die is an obsession with me. It is how I have self-identified since early in my life, as I've reiterated over and over again. Yes, my parents promised me to God prior to them getting married. I guess they brainwashed me from the beginning of my life, and that training has greatly impacted me ever since. Yesterday, I took time to watch some of the proceedings in the lower house of Congress. What a sham. The Democrats were after Trump from the moment the election results were announced. Actually, even before that. Now they've created a war of words over the Ukrainian issue. I see the Ukraine as a deep state creation of the elite to continue to polarize the population against Russia, maintaining a veritable Cold War. Much of this is pure propaganda and fear-mongering. There is no statute of limitations for cases involving fraud. Yet politics has been mostly fraud, going back a very long time in our human history. The sad truth is, it's all about money and control. Will humanity ever be provided with irrefutable truth about this insane world? I wait with many others. Yeah, I'm actually recording this video in the evening, which is very unusual for me. It does happen every once in a while, but most of the time I record my video after I upload and post the video for that day. I do the one for the next day. This is an exception. So I've had a chance to reflect on a lot of things, and I've been going through a really rough time. Again, I keep asking, where's God? When is God going to take responsibility? That's the challenge, because I've lived my life with belief that I called faith. I've had some experiences where God seemed real. I mean, almost tangible. No, I've never actually seen an apparition or a vision, but I have had light fill the room, and I have felt strong presence of what I identified as God. And of course, some say, well, if it was the light, it was the fraud. It was the deceiver, because Moses drew near the thick darkness where God was. That's a Bible verse. Well, I personally don't believe that God is in the darkness. I believe that God is the light. But I've believed a lot of things in my life, and I'm sure at this point that I was wrong with a lot of them. Certainly, I was wrong to think that God answers prayer. I have had many unanswered prayers. I just hit the remote and the screen jumped a little bit, but it still says recording, so I guess I'm good. Anyway, I look at this political scenario, and I even have close friends and relatives actually that think that Hillary would have been a great president, and they're totally supportive of the Democrats and what they're trying to do and impeaching and pump Trump. They see him, they look at the media and they see what's going on, and they believe all the left-wing rhetoric. I don't. I don't believe any of the left-wing rhetoric. I don't watch CNN, MSNBC, ABC. I don't watch any of them as far as the news goes, because I consider it all propaganda. And I even consider a lot of Fox propaganda, although at least that provides an alternative viewpoint that I watch, because I have a lot of, as I've said, I have a lot of people that are very strong Trump supporters. And I think that Trump has apparently done some things that are tangible results of improvement for many people in America. Maybe not everybody. I'm sure not good for the deep state, because he's been trying literally to drain the swamp. And there is a swamp, and it's the swamp creatures. Who some people say, Ron, it's not the Rothschilds, it's not the Illuminati, it's much deeper than that. And they go back to archons and another race of beings that aren't even human. And there are, or at least seem to be, evidence of other beings that are not human, even encounters with such beings on this planet by humans that have testified, and their testimony seems realistic, and not necessarily because I believe they're telling the truth, but it's their experience of what they witnessed firsthand. And I am not going to refute firsthand witnessed testimony, although I have to give this allowance that there are people that have the technological ability to project images that seem real. I mean, I watched Elvis perform with his adult daughter, and of course he was dead long before that thing, but it looked real. It's a holographic projection. And it's all, to me, that is all fraud. That is what's wrong with the world. So much of what we've been told on every level is a lie. Not just in the politics. That's what's playing out, and that's what people are paying attention to now. That's why there's so much vitriol and animosity of Republicans against Democrats. And let me tell you something, folks. There's a lot of Republicans that are just as guilty as a lot of Democrats, and there are Democrats that are pretty decent people. The labels can be almost interchanged because they're virtually meaningless. Although that's not what we're being told on the media, no matter which media you look at. We're being told that there is a difference. Well, to me, the difference is what is true and who is willing to tell the truth. But then some say, but Ron, what is true? And I get it. I get it. It's hard to discern that when there is so much conflicting information being put out that sounds logical to some degree, even when it's two things that are diametrically opposed to each other. I have friends that try to get me to believe this or to believe that. I'm tired of believing anything. Again, it comes down to what's happening now. Now is the only thing that's real. The future is but a vision, a dream, a projection, and the past could have been very easily manipulated through mind control and other things that have limited humanity from seeing the bigger picture, let alone experiencing actual love and experiencing truth and experiencing a continuity, because there doesn't seem to be anything that's continuous. It seems broken, a broken record of crimes, a broken record of interference in human decisions and in human aspirations, and in all of our lives. We have been deceived. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.